Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So apparently the director of Alien Romulus, Fede Alvarez, has derived his inspiration from the third world for the film. Now, that's because he, from his own words, says he is from the third world. And I think it's quite interesting. It sort of paves the way for a compelling, hopefully, narrative. I don't know, I've not seen the film. I just thought this was interesting and it's worth doing a video on. So let's take a look, shall we? I just thought this was quite an interesting sort of topic because it goes to where filmmakers get their inspiration from and how that would subsequently affect the film. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a good film or not. I've not seen it. I see it tomorrow. But third world is an inspiration from your own history, your own interaction, where you grew up. Could be good, hopefully. So, what does he say? Says this anyway, the article. One would think that Ridley Scott's planned prequel of Alien petered out with 2017's Alien Covenant, there'd be nowhere left in space for the final woman standing franchise to go. However, don't breathe, horror meister Fede Alvarez has proven with Alien Romulus opening this coming weekend that many can still hear you scream in space. Similar to how Tony Gilroy expanded upon the early roots of Star Wars with Andor and Rogue One, Alvarez thrusts us deep into a deeper dive of a future proletariat society, inner workings, and how spaceship labourers are pawns in a world where a faceless man is poisoning them with science. More specifically, somebody is hatching this virus or aliens which are devouring humans. Now, I think that's interesting. So, you know, they're obviously revealing a little bit about the film here to a degree, but it's the proletariat society's inner workings, you know, spaceship labourers, pawns, and this goes to, you know, the original films and subsequently Aliens, sort of commentary, I guess, on the sort of society being controlled by the company, right? And this is that, but to a much, how they're describing it anyway, to a much larger degree than what Alien did. So Alien, they were the truckers in space. This is almost pitting them as the, just low, lackey labourers in space that load the trucks, right? And that's even worse. So I thought that was quite interesting. As I said, but beyond story, Alvarez has some jaw-dropping visuals we've never seen before in previous Alien movies, including Architect Scott. The Uruguayan filmmaker tells us on the latest episode of Crew Call about his inspirations here in Romulus. And quote, I hope people connect with it, because it's such a third world story. That's where I'm from. If you're born in the third world, that's your reality, for good, for bad. You're always going to do good when you grow up. Interesting. So the narrative of young people that are born in the place that they feel is the wrong place, where things feel like they're collapsing around them and they just want to get out of there. They should look at their parents and look, I don't want to end up like them. That's a very third world reality. Which is true. That is actually the case. Says Alvarez also shares that he pitched his version of Alien to then Scott-free President Michael Schaefer when Neil Blomkamp's version fell apart. And that take would have seen the return of Sigourney Weaver's Ripley, Michael Bihn's Hicks, and older Newt against new xenomorphs in a jungle setting with mercenary factions and vicious new synthetic androids. That's not 100% true, but alright. Alvarez's installment would take place between the original 79 Scott movie and James Cameron's Part 2. The gist? A friendship between a human and synthetic, played respectively by Kaylee Spaney and David Johnson. Everyone knows synthetics always spell trouble with a capital T in an Alien movie, and Alvarez's MO was to play on audiences' prejudices against such androids. Previously, Michael Fassbender played the latest cryptic synthetic in Scott's Prometheus and Covenant. It says here, we also need to talk to Alvarez, who once auditioned Spaney for a previous movie about the actress's on-screen je ne sais quoi. Of late, she's on a hot streak with Priscilla, Civil War, and the upcoming Rian Johnson Knives Out mystery, Wake Up Dead Man, that rivals that of Florence Pugh pre-COVID, with such titles as Fighting With My Family, Midsommar, Little Woman, and Black Widow. And apparently the movie, I mean, it's headed for a $75 million global opening, which is great. But I just thought this was interesting. Genuinely. this as a take. You know, the third world is the inspiration for this movie. And I think that works, you know. Because the movies largely have been, you know, a commentary on many things. 1 and 2, capitalism, to a degree. The company is capitalist, you know. And their sort of ever-hungry need for growth and development, especially their bioweapons division. And, well, more so number 1 was actually about, well, sort of capitalist society of them desperately needing their bonus. We want our bonus. We've got to get our bonuses if we leave here. And it's that sort of fight or flight, I guess, to a degree. They want to flight, but they're going to fight because they want that bonus. So it's how capitalist society can sort of erode away our better instincts. There's an element of that in Alien, for sure. I'm sure some people are going, no, it's fucking not. Shut up. It's just my opinion. So this as a commentary on that, but from the perspective of the third world, I think it's interesting. I think it's really, really interesting. Yeah. $75 million global opening. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not absolutely incredible, but it's not bad. But we're getting pretty good reviews. I've covered some of these before, but here's deadlines anyway. Alien Romulus is nasty surprises lurk in the dark. Faithful but inevitably tense sequel. The 7th installment in the increasingly aimless Alien franchise is better than it has any right to be. A genuinely thoughtful reimagining that pays stylish homage to the 1-2 punch packed by Ridley Scott and James Cameron, but adds in some inventively nasty surprises of its own. Sigourney Weaver is nowhere in sight. Kaylee Spaney might seem at first glance to be an unlikely successor, but the Priscilla star certainly earns her stripes by the end of Alien Romulus is tight and deceptively well judged to our runtime. So that's actually quite good, because loads of people were concerned about that. Ditching for the time being all the boring conceptual non sequiturs that flooded in after Alien 3, the creationist story of the xenomorphs and the ongoing soap opera of the Weyland. They spelt Weyland-Yutani wrong. Wow. With its airy-fairy plans to use extraterrestrial DNA for whatever, Alien Romulus sets out its stall roughly midway in the 57-year gap between the events of the first movie and the second. A little bit from that, so there's no major spoilers. Just started reading it, I was like, god damn, there's loads of spoilers there. So I've got to scroll up. There'll be some people that don't want the spoilers. The things I do. Anyway, what else do I say? Not much. I just think this is interesting. I'm very much looking forward to this film, and we will of course do lots and lots of videos moving forwards, I'm sure, on it. I'll give you my review tomorrow. What do you think down below? Thoughts? Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye now.